Welcome to session 2 of this lesson. We're going to continue with our Picasso-inspired roosters. Remember, they're not chickens, they're roosters. He really needs a bigger tail for a rooster. Anyway, we're going to finish our rooster lesson. So what I need you guys to do first is to go and get your work that we did last week. So last week, you guys, we did our practice roosters. You guys remember? Just in pencil. And we looked at Picasso and we did our practice roosters. So you need this. This should be in your art portfolio. Go and get it. Okay, you need that. Also today, other things you will need, and I will put them up here on the screen so that you can see. Let me share my screen and show you guys. All right. So also you're going to need today a piece of paper, a new piece of paper, a pencil, and something black. Now it could be a marker, it could be a Sharpie, it could be a crayon, just something black. Okay, and then also, of course, you need your rooster practice picture from last week. So make sure you have those things. If you need to pause the video, now is a good time to pause it if you need to go and get those things. You don't need all of these black things, just one of them. All right. Okay, guys, so let's have a look at our finished work today. Here's our rooster. I want you to look carefully today at these patterns and these lines, right? We know some of these lines. We know some of these patterns. Here are some other lines and patterns that you know. Spirals. A wavy line. Now, any of these you could use on your rooster today, because today we're going to really focus on making the feathers, and we're going to make them big and bold, just like Picasso did. So you might want to use some of these lines today on your rooster to create the feathers. Okay, zigzags, always a good one. Big dots, right? So you might want to use some of those because I know you guys know them, and we're going to make our big rooster. And we're going to make our lines and our shapes. Let's look at our learning targets for this lesson. I can talk about Pablo Picasso. Remember him? I'll talk more about him again in a minute. I can use line to design interesting patterns. Don't worry about this one. We're not going to deal with that today. Okay? So we are going to use line to create interesting patterns on the rooster for the feathers. Okay? All right, everybody. So let's talk about Pablo Picasso before we start. So Pablo Picasso, you guys remember, super famous artist. We'll have a quick look again at the PowerPoint about him. It's the one that we saw last week, so hopefully you guys will remember a lot of it. All right, so here he is, Pablo Picasso. Remember I said he had a really long name? There it is. Feel free to try and say it. It's very long. I'm not even going to try right now. And when he became famous, he decided, it's too long. I'm going to have a shorter name so that everybody can remember my name. And so he just called himself Pablo. Here he is in his studio. And he painted really big, so he's got lots of space to paint. One of his self-portraits. Remember, a self-portrait is a picture of yourself, right? He was born in Spain on October 25th, 1881. He really loved to draw and paint. You guys remember what his first word was? It wasn't mama, it wasn't dada. It was piz, which means pencil in Spanish. That was his first word. His dad was an art teacher, so I'm sure he helped him a lot, and I'm sure he learned a lot from him. He lived to be 92 years old, you guys, and he created over 20,000 art objects in his life. Not just paintings, he did sculpture as well. He did all kinds of things. So some things 2D, some things 3D. He did all kinds of stuff. Remember this? So this is the painting that he made of his mother. Do you remember how old he was when he did this? 15. 15 years old he made this picture, which is pretty impressive, I think. I mean, that's only a few years older than you guys are, right? Now, he decided, you know what, everybody's drawing and painting like this. I want to do something new. And so he came up with something called cubism. Cubism. And he decided, I am going to paint in a different way with all these tiny little shapes and cubes and squares and triangles and straight lines. And I'm going to call it cubism. And everybody thought he was crazy. Everybody was like, Pablo, this stuff is not so crazy. Nobody's going to like it. Nobody's going to buy it. And then you're going to have no money. But guess what? He said, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And he did. And people loved it. And he became very, very famous for his cubist artwork. He did weird sideways faces. Look at that girl who's kind of green. It's like half her face is sideways and half of it is straight on. Here's a self-portrait he did. You guys remember this from my room, maybe? Look at all those colors. He decided, you know what? I'm going to make skin whatever color I want. I'm going to do half a face this way, half of it this way, and that's how I'm going to do it. Look at the beautiful patterns that he used on her shirt. She's got those stripes, and she's got like some kind of cross hatching happening here, crisscross lines. He really loved patterns. So we're going to take his love of patterns and we're going to use it on our roosters today. Here's more of his cubism and his weird kind of straight lines and angles and weird faces and noses and eyes moved all over the place. But you can still tell what they are, right? Look at all those colors. Look at all those patterns. Nice stripy background right there. Sometimes he just did really, really simple pictures. And sometimes he made roosters. There he is, Mad Angry Rooster by Picasso. So you guys, look at him. He's got a lot of stripes. You might want to put some stripes on your rooster today because we are focusing on using lines to make our patterns. And he's got his crown on the top of the head right there, and these two little red bits under his beak. All right, everybody. I'm going to come out of that for a minute. Okay, so now that we've taught and remembered a little bit about Picasso, let's start with our work. I hope you have your stuff ready. Okay. All right, guys. So you need your paper, you need your pencil first, and you need your practice drawings that you did last time. Okay? These three things is good enough for now. Okay? Don't worry about the black for now. So today what you're going to do is you are going to draw one big rooster right here on your paper. Make it really big. You can use your practice roosters to help you that we did last week. Okay? So I'm going to put mine right next to me where I can see them. And I am going to draw a rooster and make it really big. I'm going to make my rooster have a way bigger tail than I did last time because rooster tails are huge. My rooster's going to have a beak that is open and he's going to be shouting. So he's got his eyes shut like he's yelling. I'm going to do his crown and these things right under his beak like little teardrops. He needs a wing and he needs some legs. Now, guys, yours does not have to look anything like mine. Make yours look however you want. It's your rooster, not my rooster. Okay? So you make your rooster however you want using your practice roosters to help you. Make him really big. He needs to take up lots of space. Okay? So we're going to just draw in pencil. All right, good job, guys. Now, when you have finished drawing your rooster in pencil, and maybe you want to make the wing different, or you want to make the tail different, you make it how you want. Maybe you want to pause the video here before we do the next part if you haven't finished. Okay, guys, the next thing we're going to do is you're going to take your black. Now, this could be black crayon, black Sharpie, or a black marker. It doesn't matter. Try and find something black, and you're just going to go ahead and outline everything in black. And this is, Picasso did this a lot. He did really, really strong outlines. So we're going to just trace all of your lines. Do this with me. One foot. Another foot. And however your rooster turns out is good. Roosters are meant to look all different. They're not meant to look the same. So if yours doesn't look the same as mine, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It can be completely different. Once you have outlined everything in black, you are going to start adding your patterns. Okay? Now I want you to think about all of the lines that you know that we could add onto our rooster. You guys know these lines. Let's use them. Let's use them on our rooster. When we make our patterns today, we're going to make them really big. Okay? Really, really big. Let's have a look at my example again for a minute. Okay, here's my example. Now look at my patterns. They're big, right? I mean, they're bigger than my finger. Look at that. These are really big designs. I want you to do big designs too. I could have done teeny, teeny, tiny little feathers, but I want you to do big, bold feathers because Picasso was big and bold when he did his drawings too. And we're going to be like him. So we're going to make these really nice and large. So no teeny tiny patterns today. Okay? All right, you guys, let's start drawing our patterns on our roosters. And you can draw them any way you like. I think I might start with some curvy lines. You can do the same as me, or you can do your own. And then maybe I'm gonna have some dots. We're gonna make some big patterns on our roosters. And again, look, I could have done tiny little dots, but I didn't want to. I want to do big ones. Everything big. I could have done one tiny little line, but I made it a big, thick line. These are the things I want you guys to think about. I'm going to do like a froggy jumping line in here, but I'm making it big, really big. Okay. Nice and big. Maybe I'm going to do some stripes on the wing. Think about all the different designs you know. What about the tail could have a bunch of zigzags on it? Okay. Now you don't need to go completely nutso with your designs and do too many. You can keep it fairly simple because we're making them so big. Okay, so it is okay to not do too many. Again, here is my finished one in case you want to borrow any of those ideas. Okay, I'll leave that there for a minute in case you want to borrow any of those. Now, second grade, we are not going to be doing our coloring today. That is for the next lesson. So please don't get overexcited and think, okay, I'm done with my black lines. Now I'm going to color. No, nope, no, you're not. Okay, so everybody, if you have not finished, pause the video and you can finish doing your black outline now. Okay, everyone, when you have finished, you're going to stop there. We are not adding color today. And you know where it's going, right? It is going in the same place where you keep all of your work. And if I was you, I would keep your little practice page in there as well. Keep them both together because we'll need them for next week in your art portfolio. You knew that was coming, right? So keep them safe in there. Okay. Keep them safe in there. You will need this for next week. Next week, we're going to add the color. Okay. All right, you guys. So quickly before we go, today we've been talking about Pablo Picasso, and hopefully you've learned some things about him and you could maybe share that with your family. And also, we are using lines to design interesting patterns for our feathers. And we've been doing that today. Not going to worry about the third one. All right, you guys. I hope you guys have fun with that. Don't color it. We'll do that next week. All right, you guys. You still have about 20, not even 20 minutes, about 15 minutes of art left if you would like to do some more details to your black and white work. Okay? So you can do that now. All right, guys, I will see you next week. Bye.